This is you, either in the past, now, or in the near future. And despite the fact you have spent years to get into the high school classroom you're in now, you are brutally uneducated compared to the rest of the world. You and your class consistently score worse than other countries in the world in standardized testing. And once you do accept the system, you will be clueless on how to effectively live and manage yourself. This is Alex. He is a relatively average student in Finland, but unlike you, his education is well respected among the wealthy world. When he takes the few standardized tests he has to, he and his class ace them. He and his peers can also jump into standardized practices in work and life immediately. No scrambling to try to barely find out how to manage time or solve real-world problems like seen in America. I'll just jump straight to the answer here. It's because of Finland's focus on their students' well-being and real-life skills. This is very, very well documented. But the far more interesting story is how they got there, and why it cannot be implemented into America. For the majority of history, Finland's education was awful. It took them until 1921 to make education compulsory. By this time, the majority of the world already had. Even when education was available, it wasn't much, with just 4 years of education for the masses and an additional 2 years for promising students. But it was this very delay that let Finland be successful. The Finnish government saw how behind they were, and with that they had a mission. They had passion. They had an ideology built through passion for a betterment of society. Because of this, they continued to innovate and improve their system. Most importantly, they saw all the failures of other systems. How students were shaped into mindless workers, how all the free thought was taken out of them, how they had no critical thinking. They knew what not to do. By 1977, they caught up. They had fully rolled out a 9-year education system for everyone, with this strong ideology of the betterment society ingrained right into it. Students were not treated as lesser, undeveloped humans or products, but as any other human. Their well-being is a primary factor, and they are not taught for the sake of absorbing information, but are taught for the sake of learning and being able to succeed in society. Executive function, breaks, and life skills are things that are valued here, not just information that will never be used again. This ideology of passion is still strong to this day. The system continues to innovate. So, Finland's success has nothing to do with less homework, a longer recess, or shorter school days, but a societal ideology built around the success and well-being of students. You wake up from your daydream. Your study hall class is virtually over. You hear the bell ring. You are objectively screwed. You have 3 tests in your next 3 periods, the last of which you were aiming to study for in the study hall you just slept through. It's not necessarily your fault. You couldn't get much sleep last night as you had to study, but nonetheless, you are still screwed. I can relate. I have to wake up at 5:45 to 6 in the morning, which I naturally don't, and have to eat lunch at 10:43, an extremely unnatural and unhealthy schedule.
Can you relate? Tell us in the comments.
You starting to feel painful butterflies in your stomach, ask yourself, why don't they seem to care? The answer? They don't. It is for the very same reason Finland finds so much success, America doesn't. Our education system was born from the ground up out of necessity for obedience and structured based on control, not education. Based on the Prussian method of training obedient soldiers, our system was made to train obedient factory workers. Here, education is not seen as an opportunity to advance society, but as just another strain of the public funds supply. Only the elites of society ever truly saw its potential. Only industrialists and corrupt politicians. They mold the system for their own gain so they can make more money. There was no intention of improving society. All of this profiting was cloaked due to public indifference as a benefit to society, as education was improving people's opportunities in life by giving them an opportunity to work in factories. Over the following years, this ideology continued, with millions of dollars in lobbying from industrials like Rockefeller to modern shadow billionaires. Money flows into the system through means with an agenda for some sort of exploitation, if it's for monetary or optic reasons. Students and parents are even given the illusion of control, with powerless student governments and undemocratic school boards. Here, education is not a way to guarantee the success of a nation, but as a tool for short-term gains for a small group in power. This is the ideology. There is no passion, no societal duty, just greed. It has always been this way, and it always will be. But there is hope. A growing corner of the internet is waking up to these fundamental issues. Twitter hashtags like #SchoolChoice are starting to gain immense traction. Students are beginning to, for lack of a better word, strike from their schools to make change in the same way their ancestors did with unfair labor. And eventually, after a lot of effort, representatives will begin to listen. It's no secret our education system is flawed, but the way we got here is a horrifying tale of the power of education and the effects it can have. Watch this video to learn more about that. You need to be part of the solution. Comment on videos like this and enter yourself in the growing community of new thinkers through Discord servers like ours. Link in the description.